This episode is brought to you by ARX. You want to be a successful strength training studio owner. The problem is you aren't able to deliver the safest, most efficient and effective workouts, making it harder for you to attract and retain clients, which makes you feel frustrated. I understand that it can be difficult to differentiate your business without the right tools. ARX's breakthrough adaptive resistance technology uses patented motorized resistance and computer software to give you and your clients the perfect workout every single time. BioFit founder John Zarbok says that ARX is clearly the superior tool to deliver the exercise stimulus. My clients are seeing insane improvements in weeks, not months. I could not fathom running my business without ARX. So here's how you get started. Number one, go to arxfit.com/HIB to get $500 off your ARX machines. Number two, book a call with the ARX sales team. And number three, learn how ARX can help you grow your strength training business. Go to arxfit.com/HIB so you can stop struggling to attract and retain clients and start to grow your strength training business with confidence. Lawrence Neal here, and welcome back to highintensitybusiness.com, the podcast where we discuss high-intensity strength training and provide you with the tools, the tactics, and the strategies to help you grow your strength training business. Are you struggling to grow your strength training business? If so, you should join HIT Business Membership, where we provide how-to guides from successful strength training studio owners, a monthly virtual happy hour with experts, Q&As, forum community, private coaching from myself, and lots more to help you grow your strength training business with confidence. Join now by going to highintensitybusiness.com and click on the Join Membership button. This is episode 357, and today's topic is how to use systems to produce consistent workout quality at scale and improve retention and referrals in your business. So this topic is really born out of conversations I've had with members and with clients and just guests on the podcast, where there seems to be a bit of a theme with regard to a lack of confidence in trainers. Maybe the owner of the business converts a free workout and always feels a bit worried about them giving that client over to a trainer only to lose them soon down the line. Maybe the trainer lacks motivation or an understanding of what to do because there's no clear checklist or no clear process in place. And there's just no consistency of standard across trainers and the methods they're using to train clients, which causes all sorts of problems. One of the keys to solving these problems is to create processes across your business, which we're going to get into. And I'm going to describe why that is, how to do it. I'm going to share with you our workout process at our business, Optima Strength, so you get a real idea of how we do it. So there's no guest today, just yours truly. And if you're tuning in for the first time and you don't know about me, my name is Lawrence. I'm the founder of High Intensity Business and the host of the High Intensity Business podcast. And I create programs to help you start and grow your strength training business. And I'm also the co-founder of a business called Optima Strength, which delivers tailored strength training here in Galway in Ireland as well. So you probably need to implement quite a lot of processes in your business. But today we're just going to focus on what is probably the most important process, and that is the workout process. Now, what exactly is the workout process? Well, this should be exciting, right? This is your way. This is how you get results for clients. This is how you run the workout, not how anyone else does it, but how you like to do it. And this is your opportunity to get your recipe, your secret sauce down on paper, so that everyone knows exactly how you deliver workouts successfully for clients. And it doesn't have to be complicated. It can be really simple. It's just a simple set of bullets, a checklist to start with. Now, why is this important? Well, there's probably a few things I said there to mention why, but one of the other things is it's highly likely to be one of the main obstacles stopping you from moving forward and growing your business. For example, until you have your workout process down on paper, there's really no reference for standards or workout quality. There's no way of measuring performance. There's no way of improving performance consistently. And there's no way of actually making sure that a set standard is being adhered to by all of your team. And there's really no way of having consistency in your business. The information is all stuck inside people's heads. They're not going to remember everything. And it's going to cause all sorts of problems and inconsistencies in your business. So consistency is a key reason why this is really important. I mentioned as well, keeping everything to a high standard. If you've not got a clear checklist of how you want the workout to be delivered and the different elements of that process, such as a teaching focus, for example, then what you'll find is that things are going to get missed. And there's no way to then actually practice delivering a successful process. If you see someone not doing something and you say, hey, you know what, you forgot to mention X, it's unlikely that they and the rest of the team are going to remember to do that unless they have a reference, unless they have a clear process they can follow and something they can really nail over time. The other thing as well is a process gives your team guidelines and it gives them a clear expectation. People love this. People love it when they can see exactly how or what they need to do in order to deliver on their role in the organization. Once you make that really clear, it gives people a lot of security and it gives them a lot of confidence in what they need to do. When it's really murky and there's no real process and it's all hearsay and you're just telling them what to do, and then you're measuring performance based on them remembering that, it's much more difficult. It creates less security. It probably makes your team feel a lot less motivated, which is then obviously going to affect performance and affect your ability to retain high quality team members in your business. And this is one of the other really exciting things. It starts to remove you from the business until you actually have your business down in a manual, in terms of processes and checklists. No one else can step in your shoes and run your business how you want it to be run. So over time, as a leader, as the owner of your business or a high-level manager, a lot of your time should be focused on how do I actually get down what we do on paper so that we can scale this, so that we can deliver it consistently and we can have other people step in to fulfill these roles and run these processes. So if you're someone who is looking to work less and wear less hats in your business, then you really need to start making sure you're dedicating time to creating processes in your business every quarter so you can start to delegate things out and start to have a clear understanding across the business how you want certain jobs to be done effectively. So last thing to say is by having processes in your business, it makes your business much more valuable if you are ever planning to sell the business in the future. If you have every process documented and in a single manual that shows a potential buyer how to run your business successfully, then it's just going to make your business way more attractive and so much more valuable. Because imagine if someone acquires your business, but you don't have any of this stuff and it's all just in your head, it's so much harder for them to actually hit the ground running. They're either going to have to learn from you and take notes and sit there and interview you on how to run the business and do the various different processes, or they're going to have to bring in their own processes or start from scratch. So, but having this already in place is going to make your business much more valuable. And frankly, less stressful. That's actually something I forgot to say, is by having clear processes, you don't have to worry about holding all this stuff in your head. You can put it down on paper and then it becomes a central source of information, exactly how to run these processes in your business for all your team. So you don't have to continue to field questions all the time about how you do certain things in the business and keep it all in your head. It's going to make you feel a lot less stressed out and calmer and have more peace of mind in your business. So how exactly do you go about doing this? How do you get started? How do you create the workout process? So as I alluded to earlier on in this podcast, the really important thing to get started with is just keep it really, really basic. Just get started. Right? Don't think about, I'm going to create the perfect process. Just put down your existing process or how you do things on paper and just get started. Keep it really simple. It's a work in progress. It's never going to be the finished article. You're always going to be refining and adding to it over time. And the basic process you'll end up going through a lot is you will learn a bunch of stuff, you will add to the process, you make the process probably longer and more complicated, and then the task becomes to cut that back down and make that process more succinct and easy to follow. And then you're going to add to it again, and it's just going to be a constant cycle. But that is how you're going to continue to improve and refine the processes that run your business. Now, sometimes you have to think, okay, well, what kind of information am I putting in this process? And sometimes that can be a bit challenging to know exactly what to put in there because you don't want information that's not relevant or it's just going to confuse the team member that's carrying that process out. So a great leading question to ask yourself when writing a process is, what is the level of detail that I need? I could give this process to someone else, not interact with them, and they can execute the process at a high level. That is your leading question, your filter for every bullet you put on this checklist. So I'm going to go through my process with you for the workout so you can get a real example of how we do this. I'm also going to put this in a blog post over at 357, isn't it? Is it free? Yeah, it's 357. Just so you can have a visual reference for this as well. So here's the process. And you'll see by the checklist and the blog post, it's really straightforward. It's just literally bullet points, numbered bullet points, right? So the first thing we do when the client walks through the door is we greet the client by their first name. Number 2, we shake their hand or fist bump them or elbow bump them, depending on what they're comfortable with. Obviously, during COVID, we were all elbow bumping or doing no physical contact. But the handshake, thankfully, at least in my opinion, is coming back into popularity. So now it's strong handshakes. Number 3, we comfort and we prepare the client. So we offer, if there's hand sanitizer, we offer hand sanitizer, and we if they want to wear a mask or they want us to wear a mask, we'll have a bit of conversation around that to make sure they're comfortable with the mask wearing or lack of situation. Number 4, we ask really a one key question, which is, how is your body feeling today? This is to gauge how they're feeling since their last workout. Have they sustained any injuries in between their visits to the studio? And is there anything that we need to do in order to modify the workout? And then we deliver a weekly teaching focus. Now, hat tip to Discover Strength for sharing this tip. And this is really a retention strategy. The reason for the teaching focus is to educate the customer on the why behind the workout. So we have around 10 at the moment teaching focuses, and they're really just pithy 20 to 30 second teaching focuses on why we use a slow speed of movement, for example, or why we encourage you to find an activity outside of the studio where you can demonstrate your strength and your newfound total fitness, as that's going to help you continue the habit, stuff like that. And this is really important because sometimes we take for granted that clients get it just by doing the workout, but then we find that they leave and they end up doing something we would regard as stupid, and so that's probably because we didn't educate them effectively. This episode is brought to you by ARX. These are the most intense exercise machines I've ever used. I remember how fast a pull-down exercise took me to muscular failure and beyond. On the final negative or eccentric excursion, my tank was practically empty, but the adaptive resistance enabled me to continue to perform work until the predetermined end of the set. This experience was very profound and made me realize how effective ARX is in helping clients reach a high level of intensity in their workouts and ultimately produce the best results. I also love how ARX measures and tracks range of motion, rep cadence, total output and time, and more with real-time audio and visual feedback. These features are powerful sales and retention tools to help you convert and keep more clients. As a listener of the High Intensity Business podcast, ARX is offering you $500 off your machines. Just go to arxfit.com/HIB to book a call with the ARX sales team to learn how ARX can revolutionize and grow your fitness business. Again, go to arxfit.com/HIB, and now back to the episode. The next thing is we deliver the weekly promotional focus. So this is a great way of just making sure that your marketing, your internal marketing, is just part of the process, right? So this is where we might say, hey, just so you're aware, our campaign currently, or our promotional focus currently, is we are offering you 2 free workouts for every referral you invite to the business. And then we retrieve the workout card and just go straight into delivering the workout. So we might give a brief workout overview. So now we're on point 8, by the way. We'll set up the exercise machine, configure the settings for the client, and describe how they should enter the exercise safely. Then we go into brief pre-exercise instruction. What is the exercise? What is the targeted musculature? What is the movement speed that we're going for? And then we might go into I don't know why I keep saying we will go into the goal. So we'll describe the goal for that client. What did they achieve last time in terms of repetitions? What do we want them to try and achieve today? And what does that look like in terms of the target rep range for the particular movement speed? So if it's like a 210, we might be looking 6 to 8 reps. If it's a 2-4, we'll be looking for 8 to 12 reps, but we're always going to encourage the client to train safely to muscular failure. And the next point in the checklist, and we're getting towards the end now, it's really short. It's just to help the client make progress in resistance or repetitions. So these points I'm coming onto now are really the focus of the coach. This is what they should be focused on in terms of delivering world-class workouts, right? So I make it explicit that we track resistance and reps, and we don't track advanced techniques because we don't want to add too much noise to the workout card. We're only really looking at measuring that initial set. So we're not really measuring drop sets or rest pauses or assisted reps and things like that. So now I've broken this bit down, which is section D, down into 4, 5, 6, 7 points, because this is just how we want to deliver workouts. Provide enthusiastic encouragement and specific positive and corrective feedback throughout each set. Get the client to or as close to momentary muscular failure in good form as possible. If form is very poor, stop the exercise, give corrective feedback, and consider modifying the exercise if necessary. Use advanced techniques during the workout, but always strive to get the client to momentary muscular failure in the first set. The client must, all caps, feel that you want them to get results more than they do. This is the most critical part of our entire process. I've actually have that verbatim in brackets next to that point. We really want the clients to feel like we care and that we care more than they do. Record performance and any important notes on the workout card. Always finish on time. Always try to complete the workout, but never at the expense of the next client's time slot. So we have that there in case we have a client who's been talking a lot, or maybe just somehow the session's overrun or looking like it's going to overrun with the exercises that are remaining. So we might, we don't like to, and we try and prevent it, but occasionally we might miss an exercise to ensure that we obviously are on time to start the next exercise. That rarely happens. In fact, I can't remember the last time it did, unless a client turned up late, of course. And that happens. And then lastly, end of workout, provide honest, positive, and constructive feedback and encouragement. Thank the client for coming in for their workout. Wipe down machines. Finished. That's the end of the process. So I've kept it pretty straightforward, pretty simple. And you can, again, see that over on the blog post for this if you go to episode 357 at highintensitybusiness.com. So very straightforward. And again, I'm always looking to refine it, make it better. In fact, I even want to cut it down a little bit, to be honest with you. Now, I find this so liberating myself in terms of having processes, because now you have your way, you have your business down on paper. So whenever you have a new idea, maybe you go to a new event and you learn something, or you get some feedback from a trainer about how you're doing something, it's not enough anymore to just respond to that person and go, oh, that's a great idea, let's do that going forward. Because firstly, if you've got a large team, well, frankly, even if it's just you and the trainer, you're not going to remember to do that. And you're not going to have somewhere where you can actually put that down and reference it and put it down into the broader context of whatever process currently exists. And if you've got a team, you have no hope of, just sending a Slack or an email message to everyone saying, we're going to do this going forward. Unless you have it down in a system or a process, it's just going to get forgotten about and not probably taken seriously. So now the action almost always, I find, is to tweak the process. So whenever our trainer gives us some feedback on something he thinks we should change, or I get a new idea, I just go straight to the existing process for that, whether that's a marketing process or a workout process or a retention process. And I just look at that process and might tweak it. I might not tweak it, but sometimes if I have a great idea or I come across something really interesting and valuable, I might then just go straight to the process and tweak it. Now, then you have to make sure that process is being followed. And I'm going to get to that in a moment. That's one of the next points here we're going to talk about. So once you have your process complete, now, ideally, you actually want to get all your processes done before you do this next step, which is to create a physical copy and actually print your process and bind it and have a nice book that the team can reference in the studio. And really, you want to have, HR process, finance, marketing, retention. And you can certainly do that, and you should. And it actually shouldn't take you that long. If you buy the book Traction, which again was one of the actions I was going to come to, and you go through that book, there's a short chapter in there on documenting, and it shows you exactly what and how to document the processes in your business. Obviously, today we're just going through the workout process. But once you've done that, you want to make sure that you create a physical copy, because obviously it's great to have a digital copy in something like G Drive in Word, where your team can reference that. But it's even better if you have the physical copy as well in the studio. It just creates less friction, and you'll find that processes will be followed with more adherence if you do that. However, failing creating the whole manual for all those processes, obviously you can just create your workout process, have that on like a nice laminated sheet or something like that, and then have that inside the studio for trainers to reference as well. That could work quite well. So let's look at a few what ifs, shall we? What if the team doesn't follow? Well, obviously that's a really great question. And it's useless having processes if no one actually follows them and executes on them. So you have to follow a principle called trust but verify. So you create the process, you trust that your great team that you have rigorously selected will deliver on those processes, but you need to make sure they're actually doing that. You need to verify. You need to inspect what you expect. Hat tip Luke Carlson for that fantastic little principle that he taught me. So the way to do that is to, for instance, if we're talking about the workout process, right? How are you going to make sure a workout process is being followed closely? Well, you need to shadow your team, right? Whether that's in person, which is ideal, where you can actually stand there or sit there and evaluate a trainer while they're training someone, and actually have your own checklist. And it could just be the workout process to make sure that they are following all of the principles or all of the bullets accurately. Or it could be simply a case of, if you can't get the studio, and this is sometimes what I do, is ask your team to actually record the training sessions. So for example, what our trainer does is he will record studio sessions, and he'll also record virtuals. And what we do at the moment is he will record a studio session one week, a virtual the next, or studio the next, and keep alternating like that. We find that's a good cadence to review the workout process. And what we found is he's got tremendously better at delivering the process effectively through this process. So it's simply a case of, I batch some time every Monday to actually review the workouts and then provide feedback based on the workout process and based on some of our other, guides that he's aware of in our business, and that he knows he's obviously being sort of appraised against and reviewed against. And so that's how we review that. And we've just found that, performance has improved really well through doing that. And that's going really well for us. And then we also do a weekly meeting. So again, this is an EOS Traction inspired step where we do a level 10 meeting. We actually do a leadership team meeting, but the one I'm referring to now is like a departmental meeting, which I run with our trainer every week. And we sit down for an hour and we go through a specific process. And that's an opportunity also for us to discuss performance, discuss how the workout process is going, and just address any concerns, any areas of improvement, anything like that. And that also helps us keep people accountable as well. So our trainer has very clear objectives in terms of his role and his rocks, which are quarterly objectives in the business, which tie back to the workout process. So there's clear accountability and check-ins, which I guess help with adherence to the workout process in our business. Now, I should say we're not hugely experienced at this, and we still make mistakes and we're still learning. But I would just say that I'm just so glad I did this early on in our business journey, because it's made a huge difference. Now, the other problem you might have is, what if the process just can't be followed despite the trust and verify processes that you have in place and the meetings and such? Well, that might be a case of that you need to actually dumb the process down. Maybe it's too abstract. I've seen that before from business owners, where they create checklists that just aren't very clear, and they're too kind of hazy or murky, and they're not specific enough in how they want the actions to be carried out. So you have to really dumb it down. You have to make it super clear. If you've done that and it's still not being followed properly, despite your management of the process, then you may have the wrong person in the business, or they might be in the wrong seats. They might not have the capacity to do the role effectively. So that's what I would say it might be the issue there. And you might obviously need to address that. But again, it comes back to that leading question when creating processes. And that leading question is, if I can find it, it is, I should know off the top of my head, shouldn't I? What is the level of detail that I need that I could give this process to someone else, not interact with them, and they can execute it at a high level? Okay. So that's pretty much the end of this podcast. So a quick wrap up to give you some actions. Go and create your workout process if you haven't already. And then you should create basic processes for every main process in your business: HR, finance, sales, marketing, etc. Go and buy and read the book Traction by Gino Wickman, which describes how to implement the entrepreneur operator. I don't know why I'm doing bunny ears. EOS, or Entrepreneur Operating System, in your business, which takes this aspect of creating processes and lots of other timeless business management principles and ties them all together in a great framework. And just remember that anything new that you decide to do in your business on a regular basis, or as a triggered event, like a if this then that workflow, won't happen unless you have a process. You need to have a process in your business to make sure that regular activities are carried out regularly, consistently, and to a high standard. And if you're listening today about this and you've really enjoyed this particular episode and you're interested in how you can implement processes successfully in your business, as well as the rest of the EOS framework, specifically in a high intensity training or strength training business, then you should definitely go and join HIT Business Membership. And because Luke is the CEO of Discover Strength, a very successful strength training business, have actually created an incredible series on how to actually implement EOS in a strength training business. You will not find such an amazing tailored system anywhere else in our particular niche. So you can go over to highintensitybusiness.com/join and you can join the membership there. So to find the blog post for this episode, please go to highintensitybusiness.com and search for episode 357. And until next time, thank you very much for listening. This episode is brought to you by ARX. You want to be a successful strength training studio owner. The problem is you aren't able to deliver the safest, most efficient and effective workouts, making it harder for you to attract and retain clients, which makes you feel frustrated. I understand that it can be difficult to differentiate your business without the right tools. ARX's breakthrough adaptive resistance technology uses patented motorized resistance and computer software to give you and your clients the perfect workout every single time. BioFit founder John Zarbok says that ARX is clearly the superior tool to deliver the exercise stimulus. My clients are seeing insane improvements in weeks, not months. I could not fathom running my business without ARX. So here's how you get started. Number 1, go to arxfit.com/HIB to get $500 off your ARX machines. Number 2, book a call with the ARX sales team. And number 3, learn how ARX can help you grow your strength training business. Go to arxfit.com/HIB so you can stop struggling to attract and retain clients and start to grow your strength training business with confidence.